Imagine being told for more than 30 years that one of rock's biggest tragedies was an open-end shut suicide, and then a forensic specialist comes in, looks at the same evidence, and says, flat out, this is a homicide. That is exactly what's now being claimed about Kurt Cobain's 1994 death, and it's forcing a lot of people to re-examine what they thought they knew about the Nirvana frontman's final hours. If you grew up on Smells Like Teen Spirit, or you've ever felt that something about this story never quite added up, stay with this video, because the new details are wild, and the authorities are already pushing back. More than 3 decades after Cobain was found dead in a greenhouse at his Seattle home, an independent forensic team has revisited the case file, autopsy, and crime scene photos. They brought in forensic specialist Bryan Burnett, known for detailed crime scene reconstructions. After 3 days reviewing the material, Burnett's conclusion, according to the researchers, was blunt. This is a homicide. We've got to do something about this. Working alongside independent investigator Michelle Wilkins, the team has now published a peer-reviewed paper arguing that Cobain may have been forcibly overdosed on heroin, then shot, and that the scene was staged to look like suicide. So what are they pointing to? First, the autopsy findings. The report highlights damage to Cobain's brain and liver, fluid in his lungs, and bleeding in the eyes. Patterns the team says are more consistent with gradual heroin overdose and oxygen deprivation than an instant, catastrophic shotgun death. Police records already showed Cobain had an extraordinarily high level of heroin in his system, around 10 times a typical lethal dose, raising the question, could someone in that state physically handle a long shotgun, aim it, and pull the trigger? Second, the state of the crime scene. Wilkins describes the area around Cobain's body as eerily clean for a shotgun suicide. His hand, reportedly still gripping the barrel, was said to be largely free of blood spatter, something these investigators argue is extremely unusual in close-range shotgun deaths. The shotgun shell casing was found resting on a pile of clothes in a position they claim doesn't match how that model of gun normally ejects a shell. Third, the heroin kit itself. Syringes were allegedly found capped and neatly arranged near the body. The forensic team questions whether someone on the verge of death from a massive overdose would have the coordination or the concern to carefully pack away their gear before dying. As Wilkins put it, suicides are usually messy. This scene looked, in her words, like someone staged a movie and wanted you to be absolutely certain this was a suicide. They also raised long-standing questions about the so-called suicide note, arguing that most of it reads like a retirement letter from music, with only the final lines, possibly in different handwriting, sounding like an actual goodbye. Now, this is where the clash really starts. Despite the noise around this new analysis, the Seattle Police Department and the King County Medical Examiner's Office are not budging. The SPD says a detective concluded in 1994 that Cobain died by suicide, and that continues to be the position of the department. The medical examiner's office has said they are always open to revisiting conclusions if genuinely new evidence emerges, but that so far, nothing presented in this independent review meets that threshold, and the official manner of death remains suicide. So at this point, there is no reopened investigation, no official change in the record, only a serious challenge from outside experts and a firm refusal from authorities to overturn their original ruling. Right now, the situation is this. A new peer-reviewed forensic report claims Kurt Cobain was likely murdered in the scene staged. The Seattle police and medical examiners strongly disagree and say the case stays closed. Between those two positions lies a lot of pain, a lot of speculation, and a legacy that still clearly matters to millions. What do you think? Does this new forensic analysis genuinely change the way you see Cobain's death? Or do you feel the official suicide ruling still makes the most sense? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more deep dive coverage of big stories like this, make sure to hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and share your thought below. Your perspective might be in the next video.